Hello everyone, I hope you're well. This is Ibi here from PatchMon, and I'm actually very excited to go through updating the PatchMon instances of 1.3.7 to the new release, which I'm about to push the buttons on today for 1.4.0. So this I have just gone ahead and set up a Docker instance of PatchMon and added a local laptop on. Now, forgive me for my sniffling. I haven't really been feeling too well, so my throat and uh, my nose are blocked. You'll have to forgive me if I cough unexpectedly. um, what we are going to go through today is upgrading. Now, there is a change with the way that we handle the Docker Compose file and environment variables because as we have been um, expanding the code base, there are more and more variables that are needed. As a result, it gets very large. So we have decided to put the environment variables in a separate file, and then anything that is sensitive or configurable should go in that. Okay, so let us go ahead and view the existing file. So I'm going to open up my terminal here. Let's go here and we are just going to inspect it. Okay, so this is the current um, Docker Compose. Oops, sorry. Here we go. Um, so what I am going to do is bring this compose, like bring it down, and then get the new Docker Compose files, and then start moving things across to it. Um, because it's just a bit more easier that way rather than copying and everything as such. So let's come out of this. Now the documentation for all of this in terms of 1.4.0 is in our documentation site. So you just go here, you'll go to the application documentation where you have installation, you would then go to installing PatchMon server on Docker. And then this gives us all the installation information. Most importantly is this command to download the environment example. So what I am going to do is I'm just going to do docker compose down, bring that down, and just going to rename the docker compose YAML file in a moment. Let me go ahead and cancel that. Sorry. Here we go. So move docker compose to docker compose 13137. Okay. And now let's paste. Oh, let's go ahead and get this environment example. We are going to move this environment example to just env, and we are going to vim into env here. So we can see that there are some required variables, and then there are some optional variables that go all the way down. There's quite a lot. So this makes it easier because we only have to update this file hopefully going forward, and it just keeps things nice and in place. So let me go ahead and grab the PostgreSQL password that I was using before. Now it's only a development environment, so it's okay for me to show 137. There we go. And it was just a simple YouTube upgrade demo as a password. So let's go ahead and come out of that. In fact, I'll just open up another terminal so it's a bit easier. And okay, make it bigger. CD documents, apps, PatchMon, Docker. Oh, vim docker 137. Let's go and into this environment file here. Going to paste that, and the Redis password was, I believe, very similar. So it was just YouTube awkward demo. I could just paste that in. There was some hyphens in that, and then my GWT secret was also extremely secretive. Where are we? Yep, YouTube upgrade demo. Fantastic. Let's put that in. My host was not just a local host, it was PatchMon local. And let us also change this as well. Now, whilst we are here, it would be a great time to go ahead and explain some of the other variables that are here in relation to logging, authentications here, network as well in relation to proxies. Now, there is an interesting um, environment variable here within regards to the cause origin. So if you have just one URL you're going to be accessing it via, then you would use cause origin. If there are multiple, then you need to use the variable where it says cause origins with an S plural, um, and have them comma separated. Okay, so let's go now. There's also time zone, which is if you need setting. These that are pre-populated are actually default um, settings in the system. Now, there are also a password policy, and we have 2FA information, and this is all new in relation to OpenID Connect OIDC. So this I will make another video, but documentation is now available for a single sign-on as well. The encryption key, if it is set, then it will be used to encrypt the AI API key if you're going to be using the new feature we have, which is the AI assisted SSH terminal. But I will show you that in a moment anyway. So I'm going to quit this. So let's right quit. There is another thing. We have to go ahead and download the um, new compose file as well. And there are two main differences with the new compose file. The first difference is there is a lot less lines um, because of the fact that we have moved the environment variables away from the compose file. The second is that there is an additional volume that we have added to store the branding assets, which is optional really, but I will show you this. So let's just go up. So here you have some warning to say before starting, make sure you copy your environment file and make it. We have just done that. We can see here that the Postgres password is taken from the environment itself. Um, and there is also an addition of ensuring that the networks is added on to thread the various services together, various containers together. Um, this networks is on all of the containers, and we can see here where we have backend, we have here the env file for it to specified there. Same with the database URL is taken from the env file as well. We have here assets directory. This is new, and app assets is the thing that will contain the branding assets here. So we will carry on going down, and we can see here volumes, branding assets, and also the new networks PatchMon internal driver, which is the bridge. So this looks okay to me now. Well, we haven't really made a change to that, so I will just quit it. Oh yes, I need to do this, which yourselves do not need to do it, because I have to take the edge tag at the moment to pull from the main branch, purely because I haven't released 1.4.0 in GitHub yet. So you do not need to put the edge tag on. You can leave it as latest before when the video comes out. It will be fine. So I'm going to just do docker compose pull, and it's going to be pulling my um, images. Actually, I haven't pulled this new image when we built it on GitHub, so it will be exciting to see and make sure it works. Um, let's just give it a second, hopefully. And if it doesn't work, then I will have to pause the video. Okay, so we have that now. We've migrated things over to the environment file, and I'm just going to do docker compose up here so we can see that it is starting to load. We can also see that it is found that there's new binary files. It is done a migration. This is the 1.4.0 initialization migration, and it has seems to have done it. So if we now go to PatchMon local, fantastic. Yes, it's done that. Whilst that's running on my right hand side, I'm just going to maximize the main screen here, because whenever we log in for the first time, obviously we have the README. Please do read this because you'll understand as to what is available and what has come through it next. And then if you want, you can buy a coffee. If you haven't, otherwise press close. We had a bug last time where if you press close, it kept on asking you to buy me a coffee. So that was not intentional. Forgive me for that, but it was very funny and useful. Okay, so we have logged in to the dashboard. However, it's not refreshed purely because of the cache. So I'm going to just press F12 on my browser. I like to do that because when you right click the refresh, you get an option to empty cache and hard reload. This would go ahead and, well, it looks like it's logged us out. So I will go ahead and just log in. Next, close, there we go. So now we see that there is a different type of a menu on the left hand side as well. Okay, great. So we can actually see that the hosts one is showing now in green. So if there are alive and connected hosts, it will show the quantity in green. If there are any that are offline, disconnected, it will show them in red. The first thing I want to go through with yourselves is actually upgrading the agent. Now, when we go to settings, we should have inside the agent updates, the toggle here to enable the agent updates to work. So we make sure they are enabled and we leave them on. The second thing is going back to hosts. If I click on local laptop, um, we will be able to see that the agent version is currently 1.3.7. Now, the next time this goes ahead and pushes a report to PatchMon server, it will recognize that there is a new version in comparison with the binary file. So we can see by going to settings, agent version, that we are currently on 1.4.0 and the latest available is 1.4.0. The latest available takes it from um, one of our agent checking version services, and this is taking it by querying the binary locally within Docker. So let's go back to hosts. Let's go back to local laptop. We can see it's 1.3.7. Now we can press update now, but what I am going to do is I am going to fetch a report. Before I do that, I want to go ahead and tail the configure the logs for the agent here, so we can see in real time the progress and the communication that is happening. So let me just sorry, move this towards here. We don't need this anymore. So let's just do tail f etc. PatchMon, because we are monitoring this local machine logs, and PatchMon agent log. Sorry, let me, yeah, sudo. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we're going to press fetch report because this is configured to report hourly, but but we're not going to wait. So we press fetch report, and straight away it's received a WebSocket connection request to say please report. So it's collecting the data and it's sending the information, and it's also sending the Docker related information. Oh, I have actually just realized that potentially, yeah, there we go. So we have here update available, automatically updating, currently 1.3.7, latest 1.4.0. So it updates, it downloads the update, it downloads a new binary, it then uses a helper script to restart the system D service, and it loads again and it sends the data again to make sure everything is working. Now, right now, the agent version is showing as 1.3.7. We just have to refresh the dashboard, and now we see 1.4.0, which is really cool. So that has now been updated. Great. I'm happy, you're happy, everyone is happy. Great. So network is there, system is there, package reports. We have agent queue. This was when we press the report now button. Notes, integrations. There is a compliance scanning feature, which I'm going to go through briefly later. It's still in beta. And reporting / notifications module. We will go through this in a moment. But what I am excited about is showing you this little view as well in relation to the stacks, which saying it's not found any. Let me just resync that. It should see some. There we go. So we can see authentic. We were testing the OIDC integration with via SSO with PatchMon. That works very nicely. So we can see this and the volumes and the networks as well. So there is an extra view here per hosts. Now, there is also a terminal view as well. What this does, it allows the PatchMon server to SSH into another system. However, there is some security that needs to be considered here. First of all, if your PatchMon server is hosted publicly and your server that you're monitoring is hosted behind that, then either you need to put in some firewall rules or use some other method. The other method we have implemented is proxy via agent. Now this is really cool because the agent has a persistent WebSocket connection to PatchMon. It leverages this TCP stream using the HTTP protocol. It uses a WebSocket to proxy the SSH traffic through that tunnel and query it locally. Now, this is phenomenal because I'm a big believer that we should not need to open up any more ports or make servers any more insecure than what they already are. The whole purpose of PatchMon would get defeated if we have to start opening up ports and things. Now there is a vital piece of information here. So I am actually going to try using the proxy via agent here. Let's try that. Okay, it's not worked. Why has it not worked? It's saying that SSH proxy is not enabled. To enable SSH proxy, edit the configuration file and add the following parameters, which is the integrations. Under integrations, SSH proxy enabled true. So we cannot push this change from PatchMon server, because if PatchMon gets compromised and they push this change over to the configuration, then it's not good. So for this, there is a manual intervention that's required, and it's very easy. All we do is we go here. So let me cancel out of that. We would go into our config file, PatchMon, and then config.yml. Oops, no permission. Sudo. Okay. Now we can see here the integrations area, and we have SSH proxy enabled is currently false. So let's go ahead and make that true. As we make it true, I will escape right quit. We have to restart the service system, ctl restart SSH. Sorry, not SSH, PatchMon. Let me sudo that. There we go. Now it is showing us offline. It's showing now as online. Great. So let's go ahead and try that again, and it's worked. So we can see here that now we have like a terminal to use with PatchMon. Now this was requested as a feature, as a stopgap before we actually release patch management, because the community was saying we can see the servers on PatchMon. It would be great if we can just SSH into them from here. So doing it through the proxy, etc., it's awesome. Okay, so we have that. I can go ahead and Control D. We also have reporting. Okay, currently there is the ability to have reporting done. This is going to get expanded. So I'm going to delete these two and start again and show you how this works. Let's start from the settings. We are going to go to alert settings. There is a master switch that needs to be enabled. What happens is we have currently 3 types of alerts. This will expand quite a bit. If there is an agent update available, then make that informational and raise it. If there's a host down, make that into warning. And let's automatically assign this to the admin here. Okay. And great. So we've done that. Let's go to hosts, and I'm going to open up terminal. Let's just say that this service has stopped, or the server has gone down. So let's stop it. I have stopped the PatchMon service. Straight away, hosts is showing red. It is live because of the WebSocket connection. And reporting has shown a warning here, because that is the severity we have set by default in the settings. So it's telling me that there's a host down, that local laptop is offline, and it's assigned to admin. And we can have a look here and click on assign to me, or assigned, unassigned, or all assignments. And we can click into it for further information, especially when it comes to the timeline. So we can see by system, it was created and then it was assigned at the same time. Okay, let's close this. Okay. Now, perchance, let's just say that the server has come back online. So let us start this. So it has started the agent straight away. The reporting warning has gone, and the reason why it's gone is because it has auto resolved. We can see here. Actually, let me just refresh this, because that's the best way to see the resolve happening. I'm going to click into that message. I can then see the time it was also resolved as well. We're also able to see here when agents make any changes. For example, if I say it's done, or I'd say it's assigned, it then goes back into the warning. And if I click into here, I can see what I have been pressing on this. This is super useful for the foundation of reporting and alert management within patching. I started off with an easy one, which is host down, because we should know when hosts are down. Although I would presume already you're using something like CheckMK or Zabbix, which we are working on integrating with anyway in the very near future. Great. So let me go ahead and delete this. Fantastic. Just check if it's still recording. Yep. Okay. So you have seen the upgrade process. You have seen some of the new features around terminal, around reporting, and you've also seen something. I'm going to show you something now around the terminal, which is to utilize the AI assistant. So we don't have AI inside the application where it's running, etc. There is no point. There is the option here to enable an AI assistant or a chatbot when you are SSHing or using the terminal here. So we are going to go ahead and enable this, and I'm going to show you how this works. So we've enabled it, and I'm going to use fine. We'll use Anthropic, and we'll use Cloud Sonnet 4. I'm going to pause the video whilst I obtain my API key from Anthropic, okay? And then we'll come back. So I have obtained the API key. I've pasted it in here. We'll go ahead and press save, and we'll do a test connection. Oh, this is exciting. So AI responded. That's good. Let's go back to hosts. Nope, I don't want to save that. We'll go to my local laptop. I will go to my terminal. Actually, because I can connect to this directly, and just a note here, when you go to network, when you go to host info, it uses this IP for the direct connection. So if you need to change that, then please do. And so let us go ahead and connect in. Now that we are connected, we'll see a button here at the bottom that says AI Assistant. So let's open this, and we can actually chat to it. So I'm going to run a command that just says psargs, okay? And I'm going to ask, can you tell me what my server is doing, okay? So it's going to think from the output of psargs. That's quite a long output. Oh, here we go. Based on the psargs output, here's what your server is doing. So it's telling me around databases, which is true. System activity. Oh, I do have WireGuard VPN running. Got new SSH. Server appears to be running normally with PatchMon application. And it's giving me more information here as well. So, and it also gives me like things to send to the terminal. So if I go ahead and just press any one of these, it will send it directly into the terminal. We can press enter and we can see more. So you can interact back and forth between the AI assistant and the terminal itself. It's pretty cool. It was submitted in a PR. I reviewed it. I liked it. So we implemented it here. It works if a person wants to use it. Now the encryption for the API key is always encrypted in the database and then decrypted every time the API key is actually called. So I like that little feature. For now, I am just going to go ahead and disable that. Okay. Okay. Now there is in the settings. Is there anything else I want to go through with you? Yeah, there's some roles that were added in relation to OIDC. Compliance. Okay, let's go into compliance. This is really cool, but I am going to make a full video on this once I've cleaned it up. Where from a UI perspective, I need to just make it uniform with the rest of the application, if you know what I mean. So you can go ahead and actually install all the CIS benchmarking which runs via the open SCAP. in and fetches the data and uh, shows that on this dashboard. You can also do fixes. It's a really cool feature. It needs beta testing. It's quite strict to be used only on specific distributions. So I need to make it less strict, a little bit work on that. There is documentation around it. Um, I think you go here, we can go to integrations and we can add on demand and then click on compliance, and then you can actually run your first scan and go through this whole thing around which profile you want to use, etc. But it requires further testing. I've put it there so then we can all see what's coming next properly, and work from there really. I hope that has helped everyone understand things a little bit. Um, I want to also mention we've added the uptime here on the hosts page, so it's very useful. If you have lots of hosts, you can organize the hosts by the amount they've been up. Um, and before we had a bug where pressing this security updates wouldn't actually show the filtered, so that's now been fixed. Um, there is a lot of improvements happened, a lot of time we have all put in, um, and we are very excited to give you this, and we're hoping for a new release in maybe 1 or 2 weeks time, where we will finalize some of the compliance and other things around it, and start expanding authentication methods like OAuth 2 as well. Um, I can't wait to expand the reporting feature where we go ahead and can build out the report function. Um, the Discord community gave some really good um, examples of what they want to see. So we're working through them to create all the Prisma queries to filter and show these things in an efficient way. We want you, to be honest with you, build a system here where you can build your own reports, but it's quite intensive. Um, there's a lot to consider and think about, so we will see what happens and how much time I get. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I'm very excited about the future, and we will see you next time. Please, if you have any questions, you can raise them as a GitHub issue or speak to us on Discord or send us an email, and we will go from there. Okay, thank you so much.